March Madness is upon us. Do you want to win $100?
Oh, I'm listening. What I gotta do?
In order to win, what you have to do is join our Discord and our link tree. Follow us on Instagram at Fever Pitch Pod. Comment two friends in the chat. Send us a DM saying done with a screenshot of you following us on one of the following, and you will be added to the March Madness bracket competition. Deadline is Wednesday, midnight.
Oh, we hooping. So for those of you who don't know, this is probably the most exciting time of the year. Right before the NFL draft, you got March Madness, which is essentially the college basketball playoff. You got 68 teams that gets trimmed down to one over the course of about 5 to 6 weeks. And for those of you who got some strategy, y'all can make brackets. You know the chances of a perfect bracket are virtually impossible, but maybe you can beat the odds.
Are you ready for March Madness? Check below to see what to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Fever Pitch Podcast. I'm your co-host, Brian.
I'm Dan. How you doing?
I'm doing good today. How are you doing?
Hey man, it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day.
Beautiful day. Feeling blessed and highly favored, but it's
That part.
March and it's about to get crazy.
Mhm.
You know what time it is?
We're approaching March Madness.
Talk to me.
Well, so for those of you who don't know, this is essentially like the college basketball playoff. That's how I like to describe it. It's initially 68 teams, but it gets trimmed down to 64, and then from there, they duke it out in a bunch of different rounds. It gets cut down to 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, and eventually one, your national champion. They do this in men's and women's basketball. And there's also some smaller scale tournaments like the NIT and things of that nature. But the serious big ticket is the March Madness tournament for the men's Division One basketball conference, and we're kicking off with the first four, which will be Howard and Wagner tonight at 6:40, and Texas Southern and Charleston State will also be facing off. In addition to Virginia and Colorado State, and Texas A&M Corpus Christi versus I think this is Abilene Christian. Yep. So we got a couple preliminary matchups to kick off this tournament.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. March Madness is great. Everybody knows it's a great time. And I feel like there's always great moments that come out of each series of March Madness, whether it's a crazy buzzer beater, and a crazy upset, or essentially somebody putting themselves on the radar as an NBA level talent through the tournament. But
Yeah.
then, what are your favorite moments?
Just off the top of my head, a few things that jump out to me was I think it was in 2013 for the Gulf Coast had a men's basketball team called Dunk City. They had
Mm,
a few. First of all, these are all mainly Caucasian individuals. So usually when you think of Caucasian hoopers, you think of like shooters and like playmakers. These guys had bounce. They were getting to the rim, and there's a lot of posters. So they called that team Dunk City. I believe they made it to the round of. I think they might have made it to the Sweet 16 that year. Like I said, it's 2013 for the Gulf Coast Eagles. They made it to they made it to the Sweet 16, like I said, and they haven't even talked about since then. I think one of the primary players on the team. I think his name was Brett Comer. He was very good. In addition to what's it? Eric McKnight was another solid player for them. So that was one moment or one collection of moments that really jumped out to me. Another one was with Loyola Chicago. I think they had like a good luck charm with Sister Jean, I think is what they call it. Yeah, Sister Jean. So Loyola Chicago's basketball team was very iconic in I believe 2019. I think they made it as far as I think they might have been in the Elite Eight that year. Let me get my facts together. Yes, they were in 2018. They made it to the Final Four actually. So they made it to the Final Four in 2018. They made it to the Sweet 16 in 2021. So that's another school that has had a lot of success. But on the major scale, Villanova, Coach Wright has had quite the the lineage of athletes. For Chris Jenkins, I believe he's from the crib. I think he went to school in the DMV. He hit the game winner in the national championship. So that was a very big moment. Kemba Walker also just had a very historic uh tournament run when he was at UConn. Jalen Suggs hit a half court game winner, I believe in 2020 or was it 2021 when he was playing for Gonzaga. And Jimmy Fredette, when he was at Butler, he also had quite the run in the March Madness tournament. So those are a few that really jumped out to me. So yeah, I mean, if you know, you know. If you don't know, find out because these were definitely historic moments in college basketball.
And speaking of Loyola Chicago, did you know that they were the first team in the NCAA to play an all black lineup in the 60s?
I did not know that. So that's historic in itself.
Yes, sir. But with March Madness coming up, you guys probably saw the clip right before this. Sign up for our tournament, $100 cash prize. The way we're doing this is if we see interest, we're going to keep stepping up the prizes. Eventually, we want to step it up into the thousands, but we got to see the interest there, you know? So the more
Indeed.
you guys are interested, the better we'll get it. But let's not belabor too much because I know the tournament is starting and I don't want to give you guys any pick suggestions. I know there's some people who already signed up, so I don't want to ruin it for them. Let's talk about what's going on in the NFL. Talk to me about Aaron Donald.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, this is probably the greatest defensive player of the 2010s, in my opinion. Aaron Donald, he's called it a career. He was in considering retirement for a couple years now, and he most this over this past week, he decided to hang up the cleats. Very, very great defensive player. I would say he's the Lawrence Taylor of this generation. Coming out of the University of Pitt, I believe he was a top 15 draft pick in his class. Funny enough, the Rams had two first round picks that year, and they used the first round pick on some other guy whose name is skipping me right now. But the second first round pick they had, pick 13, they took Aaron Donald. The first guy they took Greg Robinson, the offensive tackle, second overall. And then they got Aaron Donald 11 picks later. So I always found that as very interesting. They got like a generational prospect with a second first round pick. But beyond that, like I said, Aaron Donald, he finished his career with over 100 sacks, a reigning three-time Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2014, eight-time First Team All Pro, and 10 Pro Bowl selections. A very great defensive player, and I wish him. Yeah, he's definitely Canton bound. Hopefully, he's the first ballot Hall of Famer. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Big salute to Aaron Donald. He would get triple and quadruple teamed. You'd have to bring out bigger sets just to even make sure he didn't get to the QB. It was ridiculous. And he definitely left a legacy that defined how essentially the defensive line position is played at a very serious degree.
Yeah.
Three defensive players of the years, defensive rookie of the year is nothing to shrug at or laugh at. And I think he'll definitely be a first ballot Hall of Famer. What is like your favorite Aaron Donald moment?
Uh, so back when yeah, it was during the COVID year. I think Alex Smith was coming back from injury, and he was playing for the Commanders at the time. And either Kyle Allen Taylor Heineke had to go out with a concussion. I don't remember who the starter was. And Aaron Donald came in. Mind you, Alex Smith broke his leg like 2 years before this season. So like he's not, he's not the most mobile, he's not the most limber, nimble, but regardless, first play, Aaron Donald gets beats the line off the snap and literally gives Alex Smith the piggyback ride. He jumps on this man's back and sacks him. I was like, oh yeah, this man has no regard for human life. And he continued to run shot throughout that game. I think he finished that game with like 3 sacks. But yeah, that just kind of encapsulates how dominant he was throughout his career.
Absolutely, definitely well said. When I think about my favorite moment, it was when I think it was even recently. Well, I said this is the one I can remember in recent memory was when he was being quadruple teamed on all sides. They essentially formed a box around him. They're like, we don't care what the other linemen do. This guy is not going anywhere.
Right. He had 4 sacks and a forced fumble in that game.
Something definitely different about that guy.
hmm
How do you think the Rams will fill this hole?
I mean, they got some youth. I think his name is Kobe Turner. Of course, he's nowhere near as good as Aaron Donald, but he showed some promise. And they seem to hit on day two picks, so they'll probably target some day two edge rushers in the draft. But I feel like he's gonna leave a void that can't just so seamlessly be filled, but they'll do their best. They like to spend money, so they might sign a guy.
Yeah, LA is definitely the city of lights, camera, action, and movies. And Aaron Donald had a movie like career.
Indeed.
But speaking of movies, the NFL is releasing a receiver new Netflix docuseries. Talk to me.
Yeah, so if you're familiar with the quarterback with it, I think it was Patrick Mahomes, Marcus Mariota, Kirk Cousins, a few others. There was like an inside portrayal of like the daily lives of a QB, and they're doing that now with the receivers, and the lineup is pretty lit. You got Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, George Kittle, a tight end, and Deebo Samuel. So I'm looking forward to it. I didn't watch quarterback. I always said I was going to. I will eventually. I'm definitely going to watch receiver as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
I definitely need to watch both of those too. And yeah, definitely so we can talk about it. Do you know when it's releasing or has it just been announced?
I think it's just been announced. Let me see if I can get some information on this release date.
It's very interesting. They got George Kittle in there. I think
Yeah.
what who do you feel like are some receiver snubs while you're looking for that?
Well, that's a tough question because you didn't know who said no. But assuming they didn't consider certain people, I feel like hmm, Cooper Cup maybe. Since we're on topic of the Rams, he's had the highest of highs, and then he's been battling injuries. So it's kind of seeing that those different extremes on that aspect I would have liked to see.
Mhm.
Another example would be probably Mike Evans. He was considering playing elsewhere. He ended up staying in Tampa Bay. He's had a storied career. Additionally, maybe Amari Cooper, I feel like would have been another nice candidate to be featured.
I
So
feel like people don't even really think about how good Amari Cooper is. You know,
yeah.
he's only 27.
See?
Like when I think Amari Cooper, I'm thinking he's like I thought he was like late, like not even. I thought he was
Well,
old.
he's actually turning 9. He's
Oh
about to turn 30, but he's been in the league for almost a decade. So I can understand why you would think he's been in the league since he was 21. So I can understand why you would think he's so young because he's been playing for such a long time.
yeah, like I don't understand. How did he enter the league after like his freshman year in college or something?
I think he started at Bama as a true freshman, and I think he came out after his sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was his junior year. Oh
Yeah.
no, he came out after his junior year. But yeah, he started as a true freshman, had 1,000 yards there. His sophomore year, he had a bit of a down year. His junior year, he went crazy. He was top. He went fourth overall to the Raiders, and he's been cooking ever since.
Oh yeah. Well, I forgot even what you were looking for. What were you looking for?
Mark Cooper. I'm saying if that was somebody that was considered, I would have liked to see like his take on just like analyzing the game and things of that nature.
Oh no,
I
wait.
saw
The
Hard Knocks a few years ago when Dallas was on Hard Knocks, and he
mm,
definitely has the personality. I think he's a chess player, so like it would have been nice to see him kind of featured there, but it's all good.
mm. Oh no, the when the docu-series is coming out.
Let me see. The series is produced by NFL Films. When is it premiering? Yeah, it doesn't provide any information on its release date, and I'm sure it'll be coming out before the season starts.
Okay, all right, cool. That's what's up. That's what's up. Speaking of things that won't be returning next season, Leighton Vander Esch retired due to neck injuries. Talk to me.
Yeah, the Wolf Hunter, man. As a former Commander fan, I've seen the best and the worst of Leighton Vander Esch. Very, very, very good linebacker. Wreaked a lot of havoc. Kind of reminds me of Sean Lee. This weird trend that like Cowboys linebackers, they get really good, can't stay healthy, and then call it a career. Because I don't know if you're familiar, but Sean Lee was in a very similar, has had a very similar trajectory
Really?
to uh to Leighton Vander Esch. Yeah, very solid linebacker. He just couldn't really stay all that healthy, and he had to call it a career. He played longer than Vander Esch did. He was a one-time All Pro. William Van was a one-time Pro Bowler, but yeah, Sean Lee had to miss a year due to a torn ACL in 2014. I think he was battling a few different injuries throughout his career, and he called it a career after 10 years. And Van Der after I want to say also 10 years, has said he's no longer. Oh no, less about 6 years. He says, yeah, I'm calling it a career. I know football is definitely there's a lot of collisions, very physically demanding sport, but it's just fun. I find it interesting, the similarities there.
Absolutely, man. Hey, I know he was great, and all salutes to him. You know, he was a cowboy, and he was great for them, and he definitely strengthened that defense. Hopefully, retirement is sweet for him, and he continues into something like sports analytics or something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. Godspeed.
Hmm. But let's talk about some free agency. Breaking news: Jerry Judy gets a 3-year extension, $58 million, 41 million guaranteed with the Browns. What do you think about that?
I don't know where the Browns are getting this money from, but that's for them to know and me to never find out, I guess. For Jerry Judy, salute. Steve Smith bodied you on national TV, and he said you were the wide receiver one. But regardless, maybe Denver was just an ill-fitting space for you. Sometimes people have are late bloomers, and you get to team up with Amari Cooper, the aforementioned, a very seasoned pro, a pros pro, isn't in the media too much, just a lunch pail type of guy. He shows up and goes to work and produces. So maybe he can, honor sharp as iron there, so that can be a nice little place for you to find your second win. And then this second add to your career, you got paid a very good amount too. And you can just bounce back and prove why you went. I think it was a top 15 pick when he came out, and just prove why that was the case.
Now, do you think this is a fire move or a trash move by the Browns?
I think the Browns need offense, so they paid for offense. Uh they like to spend a lot of money. That's all I can really say.
Mm.
Whether it's good or bad will was to be determined, but they just like to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm confused where they're getting all this money because they definitely have a fully guaranteed QB contract they're still paying. But I guess with the new NFL like cap increase, I guess that's where they get a
Yeah,
little bit of extra dough.
yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. The GMs have been working overtime this postseason.
Indeed.
I know they're not sleeping. Probably nights in the office. Yeah, shout out to all the GMs. You know,
Yeah, and they got Jerry Judy for a fifth and a sixth rounder, so they paid essentially nothing. So it was definitely a great pickup for what they cost. So I mean, why not extend them on top of that? They also hired Mike Vrabel as an analyst and a personnel consultant. So I find that as a very sneaky move there because person and consult getting consultations for your personnel, getting an idea of like schematics and things of that nature. I feel like that was a very underrated move there.
hmm. Do you think that potentially we might see Mike Vrabel take on the head coach position for the Browns in the future?
Nah, they like Stefanski. So unless Stefanski decides he doesn't want to coach anymore, I think he's going to be the coach there for the foreseeable future. But I like their staff. They got Ken Dorsey from Buffalo. Josh Allen's former offensive coordinator is now the offensive coordinator there in Cleveland. They also got Deuce Staley, a very good running backs coach on there. So yeah, they look good. Um, I think now it's just a matter of health and production.
Absolutely. I mean, the Browns are definitely going to be interesting to watch. Honestly, the whole AFC North, we'll have a little bit more on that later. But let's talk about these QB signings. A lot of QBs have been signed since we last spoke. Um, I'm gonna throw them at you, and you tell me whether you think they're good or bad. You ready?
All right.
All right, Tyrod Taylor, New York Jets, 2 years, 12 million.
Very good signing for a backup. I have a theory on Tyrod Taylor, actually.
Talk to me.
Wherever he goes, once he leaves, that franchise finds a quarterback after him. And it's like it's weird because like when he went to the Ravens, obviously first of all, he went to Virginia Tech where Michael Vick went. So obviously some of these guys, like quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, Michael Vick, you
Mm.
see comparisons there. Obviously, there were definitely two different prospects, but
Yeah,
these GMs,
they
huh?
they both definitely had that dog in them.
Yeah. So given that, I'm sure some of the GMs try to make some scientific comparisons on that front. And they play very similar styles with the mobility aspects and things of that nature. And he didn't really pan out in Baltimore. He was a long time backup. Flacco was the QB1 there for as long as I can remember. But
Like 9 years, yeah.
yeah, but if you look now, you have Lamar Jackson as your QB1. And this could be a reach, but maybe the plan was at some point the skill set that Tyrod Taylor can get to that point where Lamar Jackson is currently. So I kind of see that as like a foreshadowing of what ended up happening on that front. So the Ravens found their franchise guy post Tyrod Taylor. Now he went from there to Buffalo. In Buffalo, he was a Pro Bowl quarterback. He played pretty solid in Buffalo. I don't remember why he didn't pan out, but maybe a year or two after them, they draft Josh Allen, franchise guy in Buffalo now. After Buffalo, he went to LA. He was a Charger. Um, I don't know. The doctor did some very poor handling of the injection, and instead of Tyrod Taylor, we get the other guy, that rookie from Oregon, that ended up being their franchise quarterback for their foreseeable future after Tyrod Taylor. And now where they go? The Giants. So the Giants, they paid Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is not looking like he's it. And now they signed Tyrod Taylor, and it's looking like they may begin JJ McCarthy this year after Tyrod Taylor. And here we are with the Jets. We trade for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers tears his Achilles in the 8 snaps. And now they signed Tyrod Taylor. Don't be surprised if they find their franchise quarterback within the next 2 or 3 years at post Aaron Rodgers. Because I don't think it's Zach Wilson. So I'm sure they're going to be in the market for the future. And I feel like this Tyrod Taylor signing is just another example of what happens once he goes to your franchise.
Well said. Well said. Um, who do you think the Giants will use to fill that spot?
I've heard rumors of JJ McCarthy going to
Mm,
the Giants. Let me see if I can. Yeah, they hosted the visit for him,
mhm.
so they're trying to get some insight there. So it's looking like there's potential that he can go 6 overall to the Giants. Uh, they visited. They had dinner, according to a report from Jordan Schultz. They visit JJ McCarthy visited the Giants, had dinner with the front office, and had the tour of the facility. So this is as of to post on X today. So yeah, there may be some smoke there, and he could be a Giant in April. Who knows?
There's also some considerable buzz. The Vikings traded up, and a lot of people are saying they're eyeing JJ McCarthy too.
Yes, I heard about that. I also heard talks of them eyeing Drake May,
Mm,
potentially cracking that top two, top three, trading go with the Commanders to see Drake May there.
trading up for a UNC QB, yeah.
Look at the history, Mitch Trubisky, Sam Howell, two, Bumble Stock and Mitch Trubisky. So we'll see what happens there if they take a swing at Drake May again. Obviously, He's very talented, and the profile is there. All the intangibles are there as well. But me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of ACC quarterbacks. I know Trevor Lawrence was pretty good. Jameis Winston was pretty good. Maybe it's just UNC. I'm not the biggest fan of UNC quarterbacks.
Wait,
So
Clemson's not SEC?
no, Clemson's ACC.
Really?
Yeah, because they play Florida State and UNC and all that stuff. Yeah, they're ACC.
Hmm. Yeah, you're right. I did not know that. Okay, let's. We just talked about Clemson. You brought up Trevor Lawrence. So let's talk about some of these other QBs, right? Sam
Yep.
Darnold to the Vikings, 1 year, 10 million.
$10 million. See, backups get paid nowadays. $10 million for Sam Darnold. That's pretty nuts. I'm sure he's just gonna be a just a vet in the locker room for to back up whoever they end up drafting or trading for. He's definitely not the guy there, unless they're tanking this year and then they're gonna get their guy next year. But I don't think he's meant to be anything of serious consideration. And if I'm Justin Jefferson, I'm pulling out my braids because why is Sam Darnold my quarterback?
I think the Sam Darnold. I think to what you're saying with the backups. Last season we saw a lot of starting QBs get injured, especially with the NFL always considering expanding the length of the season. That
Right,
value of the backup QB has gone through the roof. So I
right.
wouldn't be surprised if some people they make a decent career and earning off of just being a backup QB, never touching the field and just staying hot and ready.
Sounds like my type of job. If you ask me, I would do that.
Hey, all right, let's talk about the next QB. Drew Lock to the New York Giants, 1 year, 5 million.
Once again, another backup. What I mentioned this. I don't think I mentioned this on the pod. I was talking to the guys off mic, and Brian Dewall. He worked with Josh Allen, big quarterback, white guy, ultra athlete. Daniel Jones, big quarterback, white guy, ultra athlete. Drake, I mean not Drake, man. Drew Lock, big quarterback, white guy, ultra athlete. So Brian Dewall is just getting worse. It's just getting cheaper versions of Josh Allen. So I mean, it doesn't really surprise me. I like the signing. It's not too bad, and there's not much there. So they're gonna have to put some pieces around them, especially with Saquon going and Dan Waller retiring. So, well, considering retirement, I don't know if he's gonna retire officially, but um, yeah, the Giants need help. I don't know what happened between 2022 and 2023, but they took many steps back, and hopefully they can find their footing again.
Absolutely. Tyler Huntley to the Cleveland Browns, 1 year.
There's been a lot of linking with the ops this free agency period. So former Raven going to Cleveland, I guess he's dead to y'all. I don't know. But his name is Snoop and he joined the Dog Pound, so it makes sense.
You see, I'm not mad at Tyler Huntley though, because the Ravens, we got Josh Johnson, all right.
Mm.
And he has the same type of play style as Lamar also too. So it was very clear that Tyler Huntley wasn't being looked at as the QB2 anymore. So I'm not mad at him going to get his money. You know, I'm a Tyler Huntley fan. Um, him going to the Browns, what that leaves their QB room with what Jameis Winston, Tyler Huntley, and the masseuse.
Yes.
So it'll be an interesting situation over there. I know Jameis Winston is definitely trying to compete for a starting spot, and I think it's definitely going to put some pressure on the masseuse. So we'll see how that pans out. But overall, I think it's a good signing. Adding depth to the QB room is definitely something that we're seeing as a big trend this year, especially as we talk about this next QB. Josh Dobbs to the 49ers.
So yeah, I guess basically Sam Darnold and Josh Dobbs just swapped because Josh Dobbs was a Viking last year, Sam Darnold was a Niner, so now they're just picking up pieces and switching them. That's how I really see that as. Nothing really of note there, but I get it.
Okay. Mason Rudolph to the Tennessee Titans.
No comment. Don't really have much to say about Mason Rudolph. He's pretty awful, but he's a vet. So
He looked okay in that Bills game.
He's awful. He's a vet, so vets get paid. I like the Titans though. I like that little nucleus with the older wide receiver talent for your young QB. I like that build. And then you also have Burks and Chiggy. So you got your old wide receivers and you got your future with Burks and Chiggy. So if they end up drafting more talent there, the future could be right.
Absolutely. Okay. We just touched on Josh Johnson to the Ravens. What do you think about that?
I mean, hey,
Resigning.
need that.
True. All right. Sam Howell getting traded to the Seahawks.
Um, Bumble stock. Well, I think it's a nice. I'm glad the Commanders are able to get something for him, and I think the Seahawks may have the future if Geno doesn't pan out down the line. So I think it's a beneficial deal for both teams. Sam Howell definitely needed a change of scenery. Sam Howell definitely needed a change of scenery, and the Commanders obviously need the new QB1. So the writing was on the wall, and they finally got it done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, when you look at Sam Howell, do you look at Sam Howell as a starting QB in this league?
Not a good one, but yes, he can start in this league.
Do you think this is a good move for the Seahawks? You've hired a new head coach and you're essentially trying to reset, but you have an NFL draft where there's going to be a lot of QBs coming through. Why do you go with somebody like Sam Howell?
I think he's only 22. He's very young. He's 23. He'll be 24 by week 3, I think, September 16th. He's very young, and he showed promise. So I think it's a low buy, and if it doesn't pan out, you can get a QB next year.
That's fair. Okay. All right. Now let's change gears. The Bears trade for Keenan Allen.
Love it. That DJ Moore Keenan Allen situation there. Caleb Williams is gonna have a lot of people to throw to. So
It looks like Caleb Williams might be entering the best situation for a rookie QB that I've ever seen in recent memory.
yeah, because this is a 7-win team. So they weren't bad.
Mhm.
So you just throw Caleb Williams there. Your defense is set with that Montez Sweat, Jalen Johnson, Jaquan Brisker, Tariq Stevenson. They got a lot of pieces on defense. And then on offense, you got Cole Kmet, solid tight end, and DJ Moore. You saw what he did this past year. Keenan Allen is old, but he definitely still has some juice and some gas in the tank still. They may need a wide receiver 3, but they'll probably get that in the draft. And they drafted a running back last year in the Roschon Johnson. And they signed DeAndre Swift. So there's a lot there. There's a lot there to work with.
Absolutely a lot there to work with. When you're looking at the Bears now, what if you were to grade how they've been doing this free agency, what would you grade them?
B plus. Just make sure y'all hit on this quarterback. Because if not, you got Tyson Badgett and Burt Ripien. And you might ask, where's Justin Fields? Oh, Justin Fields is a Steeler. He was traded for pretty much nothing.
Oh, we didn't
Uh,
even talk about that yet. Let's get
yeah,
into it.
yeah, he was traded for pretty much nothing. The writing was on the wall. You fired your entire coach staff that drafted him. I think that GM is gone. Luke Getsy's in Vegas now. So yeah, and you had the number one overall pick 2 years in a row. Hypothetically speaking, I don't know if Bryce Young would have done any better than Justin Fields did this past year. So I'm just happy that he was able to show that he could play quarterback in this league. And honestly, a QB room with Russ, Justin Fields, and there's one other guy in that QB room. But those are the two main participants, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I like it. I think they both have something to gain here. If Justin Fields can beat out Russell Wilson, then Russell Wilson's obviously cooked. And if Russell Wilson shows that he can still play quarterback, then Justin Fields can take some time to sharpen his sword. So I think it's mutually beneficial for all 3 parties, Fields, Wilson, and the Steelers. So I like it a lot.
Let's see who that last QB was. Oh, they still have. Do they still have Mitchell Trubisky?
Do they? I guess
He's on the roster on NFL.com, but
I guess so. You know what's crazy? This is another little crazy little tidbit. So on ESPN, he's not listed. So yeah, this is Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. It might get a day two quarterback. But I was mentioning so Mitch Trubisky was like a top, no, was he second overall here? I think it was second overall,
yeah, you're
top 10
right.
top 10 pick out of UNC, drafted by the Bears. Crashed out, ended up in Pittsburgh. Justin Fields was a top 10 quarterback drafted by the Bears. Crashed out, ended up in Pittsburgh. You see where I'm going here?
Yeah.
The Bears got the number one overall pick. Looks like they're going to take Caleb Williams. There may be in about 4 to 6 years, we might see Caleb Williams in Pittsburgh. I'm just saying, man. It's happened twice now.
Hey, one thing about Dan is you're the oracle. You have a way of predicting things. And no, Mitchell Trubisky is on the Buffalo Bills now.
Oh yeah, he went back to Buffalo.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Um. So I think the Justin Fields move is a great one, and I think that ultimately Justin Fields is going to be their QB for the future. And it looks like the Steelers are finally trying to build out this offense a little bit more.
Right.
So their QB was their main concern, but we'll talk about what they need to fully build out in a second. Um, Hollywood Brown signs with the Chiefs.
I love it. He is going to take some attention off of Rasheed Rice and Travis Kelce. You add another weapon there for cheap. So can't I mean, yeah, it's not really much else like I said. It's a very good signing.
And he's a human joystick. That's definitely something they've been missing.
Yep.
Chase Young to the Saints for 13 million 1 year.
He stole money because I don't know how he was able to pull that off. Respectfully. He's not bad, but he's definitely not worth what he was drafted at. Following that injury, he definitely was not even worth anything to really begin with. I'm glad the Commanders were able to get something for him. But yeah, that $13 million, he might just be the Michael Thomas of defense because yeah, he had a very great peak and he hasn't reached it since. So I don't really expect much from him in New Orleans. I will say though, I think Cam Jordan is a very good vet. So I could be proven wrong. Maybe he just needed some grooming. He probably didn't mesh well with Nick Bosa, and he was kind of and yeah, we saw that the dysfunction in Washington. So maybe New Orleans is a good place for him. Cam Jordan, and I think they have another vet there. So maybe maybe they can groom him and he can build off that.
Perhaps, man, perhaps. Hayden Hurst to the Chargers.
No comment.
I feel like the Chargers are gonna they're sneakily starting to like put together something.
They're
Sneakily.
giving, I mean, they're giving a bunch of not rejects, but for the sake of this conversation, Ravens rejects. So, whatever works.
Yeah. You know, like like what they call like the blue bin where it's like if you go to like a store, it's like this isn't really like our stuff that's like good enough to hang up on the rack, but it's like you can buy this, I guess. This is like the clearance. Chargers are getting a lot of clearance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I think Hayden Hurst has a high ceiling. The thing is that Hayden Hurst, he wants to be tight end one and he wants to be the star. Because that's why he left the Ravens in the first place. He went to the coaches after his rookie year and he saw that he was splitting snaps with Mark Andrews, who was drafted like 2 rounds after him.
Yeah, I mean,
Mark Andrews was rising up. And he was like, yeah, send me somewhere else. He got sent to the Falcons, didn't pan out, then got sent to the Bengals, didn't work out there. Now he's getting a fresh start on the West Coast with the Chargers.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say they didn't pan out in Cincy and Atlanta. He played okay. No Pro Bowls or anything like that, but yeah, he was pretty decent.
Yeah, I remember when he got drafted, I was just excited to have him on the team, but it doesn't look like things have been going his way. He's 30?
He put up good numbers for like a fifth option on the offense, which is what he was.
Did you know he's 30?
Oh my.
He just got in the league. I'm confused.
I guess he spent a lot of time in college. He was drafted at the age of 25.
Hey,
So
yo,
I think he probably was a fifth year. No, 3 years in college. So yeah.
what is going on? Oh, he went to the MLB first.
Oh wow.
Oh, he graduated high school in 2012. He was chosen by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 17th round of the 2012 MLB draft and signed with the Pirates for a $400,000 signing bonus, turning down a baseball scholarship from Florida State. He played 2 seasons in the Pirates organization before walking on to South Carolina's football team. In his only
Hmm.
minor league pitching appearance, Hurst walked 5 batters and threw only 2 wild pitches in 1/3 of an inning. Hurst gave up baseball because he was afflicted by the yips. The yips are a sudden and unexplained loss of ability to execute certain skills. Inexperienced athletes. Symptoms of the list are such as losing fine motor skills and psychological issues that impact muscle memory and decision making of athletes.
Yeah. He
Huh.
was real shook up.
Two sport professional athlete. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Huh.
There's quite a few of those.
Wow. He went pro out of college, no, out of high school to play in the MLB. He must have been a dog in high school. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Went to college for 3 years and then went to the NFL. Hey, salute to Hayden Hurst. Once a Raven, always a Raven, man. Um, all right. This next segment is we're gonna be talking about we're taking the AFC North for our division today, and we're talking about the moves we think they should make and what positions we think they should be drafting in. I know we started this a few episodes ago. I forgot about it for a few episodes, but we're gonna keep going so that we can hit all the divisions before the draft. All right. So first up, let's talk about the Ravens. What moves do you think the Ravens need to make in free agency and in the draft?
Bro, your son Derrick Henry, which is quite Ravensy. That's pretty Ravensy in itself. Get the old vet, especially at running back. Um, you already locked up Lamar. Zay Flowers seems to be content, and that legal situation he was dealing with seems to be taken care of. So you have your wide receiver of the future. I would say look to get Isaiah likely paid. If
Mm.
not now, then during the season. If not during the season, then the off season. But y'all need to go pay Isaiah likely before somebody else does. And y'all might need to get the day two quarterback because I'm not calling Lamar Jackson injury prone, but it would be good to just have somebody there. And if y'all can move off Ronnie Stanley in some capacity, I think y'all restructure his money. But if y'all could just like wash our hands of them completely, that would be great. As far as drafting, I think that's all Mark with y'all taking Brian Thomas, but I don't think he'll be there. If he is, then great. But yeah, maybe get another wide receiver, maybe get another running back. Oh yeah, because Gus Edwards is y'all need a running back. So yeah, get a running back in the draft, and y'all should be straight.
So for me, the biggest concern that point that I see with the Ravens right now is our offensive line. We had essentially 3 starting offensive linemen signed with different teams. We still have Ronnie Stanley with the restructure for the lower amount and essentially incentive if he's able to stay healthy and play. So filling out that O line, you're definitely right. We should definitely pay um whoa, name
Isaiah likely.
Isaiah Likely. Um, Funny enough, I think we played better with Isaiah Likely than with Mark Andrews. I think it's because when Lamar sees Mark Andrews, he kind of like tunnel visions on him. Because it's like this is his guy. He's been playing with him since he got drafted. It's like his like Tom Brady Gronk. Like
Yep.
I know I don't see anything open. All right, screw it. Where's Mark Andrews?
Yep.
So That, but also my opinion may be a little skewed because I didn't realize at the time how great the Chiefs secondary was during that game with L'Jarius Sneed and all those guys. I just never
Hmm.
really looked into them fully. Um, so definitely another wide receiver and definitely more offensive line talent. Derrick Henry, I think that's people are going to see that that is one of the best signings of the free agency because though he is older, he's clearly shown he hasn't lost a beat. Um, for crying out loud, he's had 2,000-yard rushing seasons with the Titans. And if you put a strong O line there, you run in an RPO with Derrick Henry, Lamar, and then you got our 300-pound fullback there blocking too. What do you even do? And guess what? He can always hit Mark Andrews over the top, and he can always hit Isaiah Likely over the top too. And guess what? Deep in the corner, you can find a wide receiver open. The wide receiver, oh my goodness, what's going on with my memories today?
Zay Flowers,
With Zay Flowers, deep down the field.
Shot. Yeah.
Rashad Bateman, also probably in the mid, but in the middle of the field. Especially if you think back to that Dolphins game, where we were essentially trying to lock up the number one seed. Um, the touchdowns were essentially automatic because you couldn't cover Isaiah Likely and Zay Flowers and contain the run. And also at any given moment, Lamar can take off for he could take off for a touchdown at any moment if he wanted to. But we've seen now that he's conserved his run to suit more of the NFL style to be more preventative than crashing out type of thing. So
Right.
I definitely think offensive linemen are going to be our key to success. We have a lot of people don't know this, but he did get a couple of snaps during the Jags game and throughout the season. We have the biggest offensive lineman at tackle. I think he's our second string right now, but with some of our starters leaving, I wouldn't be surprised if he stepped up. And when I saw him play, one thing that was clear was when he plays, Lamar gets crazy time in the pocket. And his name
Daniel Falele,
Daniel Falalele.
yeah,
Yes. I think he's like what six
eight,
six
6'8",
eight three
379.
almost 400 pounds. Like what do you do against that?
Not much you can do.
Yeah. So I know that with I think Morgan Moses, he's on a different team. Zeitler, he's on a different team too. Now Zeitler's with the Lions now. So
Yeah.
especially filling out those two positions. And if Falalele steps up and we mix in some more players just so that we can keep the O-line healthy, because I think the downfall of a lot of teams is you have your core five O linemen, but really you should have like a core 7 to 8 so you can get guys some rest so that they don't hurt themselves, you know.
Well said.
All right, but let's talk about the Bengals. What do you think the Bengals need to work on in this postseason?
They're cooked. So I mean, Payne Jamar, get a wide receiver too, get some low linemen. But all in all, y'all not gonna win anything.
Why do you think that?
The AFC caught up. Their opportunity was a couple years ago and they didn't execute. Everyone else is here now. The Ravens are here, the Chiefs been here. The Bills are gonna be there, and the Dolphins are on their way. Well, not really, but they're close enough. The AFC is just there's too much bump in the AFC. The Bengals are cooked.
Mm. You don't think with a move of getting Justin Jefferson, bolstering the O line, that the Bengals, if Joe Burrow can stay healthy, have a good shot?
Well, they just signed Trent Brown, offensive tackle for he was a former offensive tackle for the Patriots. They just signed him about an hour ago, so that's a step in the right direction.
Okay, breaking news.
I don't think they're gonna get JJ. If they do, okay, but I still don't think they're gonna win. I don't think they're gonna win the postseason, but it'll be nice to see if they end up getting Justin Jefferson.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, I think the big thing for the Bengals is O line. With them letting go Joe Mixon, who's their I don't even know who their RB1 is right now.
We got Chase Brown, a rookie from last year, and they also have blanking on his name. But yeah, we had Chase Brown. They had Chase Brown, and I believe they have another running back, Travion Williams as well. So they might target that in the draft. But yeah, there's not much in the backfield that scares anybody as of right now.
Oh wait, they have Zach Moss.
Zach Moss, I know. See, I knew they signed somebody. Yeah,
Yeah,
so Chase Brown, Zach Moss, Travion Williams, got a couple pieces there. It's a nice team. It's a nice team. And the O line, you still got Orlando Brown, you got Ted Karras, you got Alex Kappa and Trent Brown. So it's a good team. You signed Gesicki to take over for Irv Smith. You still got Jackson Carman as your backup left tackle. So yeah, I mean, they got promise, but I just don't think they're gonna win much in the postseason.
as a Ravens fan, seeing Orlando Brown just be injured the whole time he was with us, we put him on a big contract and then we trade him, and then he starts being healthy. It confused me. But hey, shout out to Orlando Brown. Once a Raven, always a Raven.
Indeed,
Maybe,
indeed.
maybe we have an issue with our strength and conditioning coaching. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the issue because like why are people just hurt?
I didn't point it out, but I drew attention to this before. And I mean, seems to be an ongoing thing. So
Okay, let's talk about the Browns. What do you think the Browns need to work on in free agency and for the draft?
well, they're already targeted new skill position players getting Jerry Judy. I believe they could, and they drafted a quarterback last year, Dorian Thompson Robinson. I would say get one more vet if you can. If you can, I understand. And draft a running back this year. No matter
One more vet at which position?
get one more vet at quarterback, get a backup there. Oh, they got Jameis. So yeah, see, so you got Jameis, you got Dorian Thompson Robinson, you got Tyler Huntley. So that running back room is pretty good. You sign Naeem Hines, draft one more running back. Like I just get you just need a body there
You don't have
because
faith in Nick Chubb staying healthy?
no, I don't. Just and Naeem Hines isn't the healthiest either. So get a rookie, get fresh legs, just get a body there. A fifth rounder, a sixth rounder, to draft somebody and get some more O linemen because they can't stay healthy either.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, on defense, they look pretty solid. They might get some more pieces in the secondary, but it's not necessary. It's not like it's not a must. But if they're gonna do something, I would do that. I like the Devin Bush signing. I like the Jordan. Oh, they got Jordan Hicks. Okay, I like the Jordan Hicks signing as well. So that defense looks pretty good. It's been looking good, and you can argue it's getting better. So yeah, they should be a playoff team that next season, this season. So yeah,
Well said. Well said. I got nothing to add there. Let's talk about the Steelers.
um, I like what they're doing at quarterback. I guess George Pickens is your one. Hopefully he can play week one. And outside of that, they haven't really made too many other moves outside of that. So only time will tell.
What
But
moves do you think they should be making?
I heard talks of them looking to get Brandon Ayuk. As an investor, I wouldn't mind it. But the offense looks pretty good. I guess George Pickens is your true blue wide receiver one. Probably get a third quarterback just to have on the roster. You need bodies, so get the body there. On defense, get some trench help. And I like the linebacker. I like these linebackers with TJ Watt, Cole Holcomb. I was high than Patrick Queen. And I like the secondary. Dante Jackson is a good corner as well. So they look good. They look good.
All right, cool. I think the big thing for the Steelers right now is that wide receiver room. I mean, I don't think George Pickens is a bad player by any regard, but I think you need some more depth at the wide receiver position. There shouldn't be any reason why it should struggle like that, and especially with the QBs you've gotten. Adding more talent to the wide receivers is only going to help the team at this point.
Well, I agree. They just traded Deontay Johnson. Kenny Pickett was pretty bad, so hopefully they can elevate from there with this QB room as
Oh,
it.
we didn't even touch on Kenny Pickett.
There's nothing to talk about. That
No,
2022 that
no, there is.
2022 draft class is very sorry.
No, there is because he didn't get traded. He requested a trade the second he saw Russell Wilson coming.
Oh,
What do you think about that?
that is
He
that's
didn't want to. He didn't want to compete for the job.
that is kind of strange. Now that you mention it. Um, I think I don't really
Like, I definitely think it's strange that he just bounced out like that. Um, because Russell Wilson, he's spoken for, he's getting paid, and you have tremendous upside to learn from him. And you also have a shot to be the QB1. Maybe not this season, but the season after that. Take some time to heal up and to build up as a starter to have that potential. But I think the biggest thing for him was that I think he believed that he just deserved the starting position. But like any given Sunday, you have to go out there and earn it. And I don't think he had earned it based off of his performance last season. I believe in his career, let me pull up some of these stats on Kenny Pickett. In his career so far, let's look at his stats. I think yep, I'm correct. He's thrown the same amount of touchdowns as he has picks. He's thrown 13 touchdowns and 13 picks in his whole NFL career. Um, he was in college for 5 years. Wait, whoa, I didn't know this. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. Well, I'll say COVID. Let's say that was a contributor there. When you look at his career statistics, the Pittsburgh Steelers have done above average, but it's not due to his performance or play in particular. He's thrown 4,500 yards over 2 seasons. And for a primarily passing QB, it's not much, especially given a total of 290 rushing yards in his career. He's been sacked a whole lot. He's been sacked 50 times with almost 400 sack yards. Doesn't fumble that much. He's fumbled 6 times in his career, only one lost fumble. But overall, he is young, and yes, he hasn't gotten a lot of time, but I think that this was an opportunity for him to learn and grow. Now that he's with the Eagles, he doesn't really have much of a shot at the QB1 position because Jalen Hurts is spoken for. He's locked in. Jalen Hurts is what is Jalen Hurts even younger? Let me see. Oh, Jalen Hurts, he and Jalen Hurts are the same age. So you can be a good backup in this league, but if he had stayed with the Steelers, there was great starter potential. Um, I'm surprised that he made this move because there's nothing to really merit or benefit and gain. Maybe he didn't like the situation with the front office of the Steelers. Potentially, he didn't like the way they were going about things because it seemed like Russell Wilson went on his tour to go meet with a bunch of teams. And after he did that, it was essentially he went to the Giants and the Steelers. He spent 6 hours in the Steelers, and it sounded like the Steelers were pretty all in on him. So I'd like to know what his thought process was because Kenny Pickett is by no means a bad QB in the terms of he has no potential. I mean, for crying out loud, he was the one that first pulled out the fake slide that they had to ban.
right.
When you're an innovator, that means that you have room for potential and growth. But what do you think?
Well, he does have tiny hands.
Whoa.
Yes, like that's like it. that's been a red flag coming down a bit. They said he has small hands, so that is out definitely. But at the same time, a few different quarterbacks have small hands. I think they mentioned the likes of. Let me pull up some notes. Oh, he's on the 1 percentile for quarterbacks. Okay, I didn't know that.
For hands?
Yeah, like his hand size is in the 1 percentile for quarterbacks. And according to this April article, he increased his hand size. But anyway,
How do you
um,
increase your hand size?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't know. But anyway, I think he's talented. I think that offense wasn't really meant for him. In my opinion, Matt Canada is very bad, but he also showed a lot of inability to play quarterback well. Oh, they said Burrow had small hands as well. But yeah, I feel like playing in Philly behind Jalen Hurts, they both kind of have a similar story of like being dealt elsewhere because Jalen Hurts was at did he go to Oklahoma first or Bama? He went to Bama first, and they ended up in Oklahoma. So maybe this is like a potential Kenny Pickett. He's definitely not going to beat out Jalen Hurts, but maybe he could show something during the preseason, and somebody can trade for him in the midst of that, and he can bounce back from there.
I did not know that this hand size thing was like a big thing. There's whole articles about QB's hand sizes.
Yeah,
Russell Wilson, 10 and a quarter inch hands.
yeah. I mean, how it's hard to cook when you got small hands.
Like what? Is it just like you can't throw the ball as hard or like
I guess hand where you grip the football, the way you're gonna throw, your throwing motion, that's all off at the right hand side of it. So if I had to analyze it. They say some of his flaws are just like his progressions, like his QB movement isn't the best. And let me see. Let me see. Yeah, so he has bad QB movement, bad pocket presence, and he's having trouble just throwing against certain defenses. So he just has a lot to work on, and hopefully he can bounce back.
Okay. Hey, well, all the best to Kenny Pickett. But it's time to change the temperature. Let's get into these hot takes. All right.
All right,
From C_Hoskins11. Oh, this is a bit of a long one.
shout
Commanders
out.
are going to take Caleb Williams at 1 and are going to trade up to do so. And especially since they have Cliff Kingsbury at OC, they also have a pick stacked up for this year's draft. And the Bears are building up their core around Justin Fields, it seems like, after signing DeAndre Swift and trading for Keenan Allen. Well, we know this is wrong now, but
Well, maybe you can insert Caleb Williams where Justin Fields is, and you put Drake May where Caleb Williams is, and you put two instead of one, and this turns out to be a fire hot take. But I mean, you're in the ballpark, but Caleb Williams will be a bear. He's a bear. I'm already seeing it. He's a bear. Um, so yeah, he's a bear.
fair. Uh, Deshaun Watson versus Mahomes AFC Championship game.
No, simple. Buffalo, Baltimore, and the Jets maybe might have a better shot at making it to the AFC Championship
The
before the Browns.
Jets?
Yeah, if Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, I'll take the Jets over the Browns.
Well, I'm not fully sold on Aaron Rodgers because I got to see how he plays after the injury.
Yeah, that's what I said. If he's playing like Aaron Rodgers, I'm taking the Jets over the Browns.
All right, and then this last hot take comes from me. Justin Fields will be starting before the end of the season. Russell Wilson won't help mentor him.
I believe half of that. The other half,
Which
not.
half?
I think he will get some PT before the end of the season. Whether or not whether or not Russell Wilson will be a mentor to him, it's hard to tell. I feel like I've heard positive and negative things about Russell Wilson. I have never seen him in the grooming aspect. But if you think about Matt Flynn, right? He signed that big contract with the Seahawks, and then Russell Wilson demoted him as a rookie. So maybe this is like the universe getting it back in blood. Russell Wilson signs a well, he signed for cheap, but he's expected to be the starter, and maybe he is Debo by Justin Fields. The only time will tell.
That is true. Only time will tell. Wait, is Matt Flynn still in the league?
No, I don't think so.
Oh no, yeah, no, he's not. Um, so change the temperature for us. Hit us with some of these cold facts.
All right, so I don't know if you're familiar with Josh Hart. He was also on the Villanova team, but now he's in the NBA, obviously playing for the Knicks. He's tough. I like Josh Hart. So in the midst of all this, player resting and 65 game minimums and all this weird stuff. He's from Silver Spring. He's from the crib. I thought so. He played 48 minutes, all 48 minutes of a game, and you would think, oh, that's simple, right? Like there's 48 minutes play the whole game. No one else in the league has done that. So he's the first player in the league this season to play all 48 minutes.
Hey, I mean, the NBA is in an interesting spot right now. I think the NBPA or
Yeah,
whatever,
association.
the Players Association, I think the NBA is realizing that players have a lot more power than the league would want. And it's resulting in essentially more catering to, and it's not a bad thing, but more catering to player health than actually the brand and growth of the NBA. Because I promise you, if I try and go to a Lakers game next season and LeBron is not playing, I'm gonna be sick. I'm going to be sick.
I mean, you don't want to go see Christian Wood and
Who?
Torian Prince
Who?
and Austin Reeves and
Austin Reaves, who just got dunked on?
and who else is on that team? Max Christie.
What D'Lo? I mean, D'Lo and AD, sure, but like the way I look at the NBA is everybody gets paid, but there's like NBA NPCs. Like even though they're the top 1% of athletes still, like there has to be a big dog, right? And if
Oh
you
man.
essentially get filtered into that smaller pool, like bro, I'm not saying nobody's going to the game to particularly see them. I'm just saying people have come out to see the stars, you know?
Right.
So if the stars aren't playing, people aren't going to go to the games.
Right. I agree. Me personally, I'm a purist, so I'm gonna go to the games anyway. But that's just me.
I'm not a purist. All right, what else you got for us?
Oh, let me see. Oh, no team on the western side of the United States has won the college basketball the national title since 1997. So they've all come from everywhere but the west side. So like your Gonzagas and UCLA's and UNLV's, etc. haven't played or haven't won since 1997.
Wow. That's funny because it's like, especially when you think of like the University of Washington, Gonzaga, they're typically in the Final Four and in these situations, but I guess they just haven't been able to capitalize. It's interesting.
Right.
Do you think this will change this year?
Oh no. I'll bank on precedent. I don't I don't know enough about the weeds of college basketball to have a sound take to go against the mean. So I'll bank on the precedent.
That's fair. Um, what else you got for us?
Machine. No one has won an NFL MVP as a member of the following teams: the New York Jets, the New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Arizona Cardinals, The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans have never donned an MVP season from any other players. A lot of Florida teams. Interesting.
Yeah, Bucks, Jags.
Only two, but it felt like more.
No, a lot of well,
Oh,
I guess teams in the South. You got Texans, Bucks, Jags. Yeah. So where it's warm, I guess it's more comfortable to play football. This is the logic association I'm using right now. So where it's more comfortable, there's I guess less grit. I guess because ever in the team's history, like it's
that's
not
just
even a knock on the current
battle,
team.
though. I feel like the less comfortable you'll be, the more gritty. But
Yeah, the colder it is, the if you're in like a more industrial environment, I feel like it's a little more, and I guess you also have to factor in how old these teams are, how long they've been in the NFL.
good point. Good point.
Because you think of a team like a Packers who've been there since Super Bowl one versus like when did the what's the youngest NFL team right now? I think the youngest team is the Texans. The Texans first became a franchise in 2000. Let's say, oh, in 1999, followed by the Ravens, Panthers, a lot of expansions in the 90s, and then after that, the Seahawks in the 70s. But yeah, man, the Texans. I mean, I think ultimately they'll eventually get an MVP, honestly, probably within the next ten years, if it's not CJ Stroud in a few years. I'm not saying he's
Yeah.
MVP right now, but give it a few years.
He, just- he, if he didn't get the concussion, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. If he didn't get that concussion,
Have any rookies ever gotten an MVP?
probably on defense. I know in the NBA, but in the NFL, let me see, maybe Jim Brown. Hmm. Yeah, just Jim Brown.
Do you know how much of a dog you have to be to come into the league and be the best player in the whole league?
Yeah, Jim Brown is one of one.
Wow. But let's talk about the NBA. Talk to me.
Well, Draymond Green says that Kyrie is a better scorer than Kevin Durant. I think that's blasphemy.
Is this just because he hates KD, low key?
Yes,
You didn't even
yes,
hesitate on that one.
yeah, because you can't say like you can't say that because I think first of all, LeBron's a better scorer than Kyrie, and KD is a close second to our generation. Like when it comes to scoring, you can argue that KD is a better scorer than LeBron. You can make that argument, and I won't fight you on that. So for you to say that Kyrie's a better scorer than KD is just ridiculous because you wouldn't say Kyrie's a better scorer than LeBron.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, what are you talking about? What are you actually talking about? I'll take Luca, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Jason Tatum, okay, before I take Kyrie when it comes to being just a pure scorer. I'll take those four. Devin Booker's right there.
I think when he was talking about it, I think he wasn't just talking in terms of just like I think he's like in terms of like how you can stop him. He's like, there's no way you can stop Kyrie. He said if you try and make him go left, he'll just go left. If you try to make him go right, he'll just go right and still score. He has a floater with the left, floater with the right. He can shoot with the left, shoot with the right. So it's like even if you get him a tough position, he'll just shoot a jumper with his opposite hand.
I do know Kevin Durant's a 7 foot guard,
That's what I was thinking too.
right? It's
But
a
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think that KD is spoken for. Like as a scorer, we know it. Easy money sniper. I think we already know He's Wemby before Wemby, and he's way better at offense.
Hmm. Yeah. Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's he's to do that at 7 foot tall is just would just never not blow my mind. Um, Speaking of which, pretty sure Anthony Edwards dunked on the 7 footer last night.
Oh, really? Who?
Let me see. Well, Anthony Edwards dunked. Oh yeah. Well, John Collins is 6'10", but he dunked on John Collins, and John Collins was getting up there. I saw this last night. I think Anthony Edwards might have the best poster compilation or catalog of anyone to ever play basketball. He dislocated
Whoa.
his finger.
Whoa. That's not even a steamer. That's a hot take.
I
Ever?
I think his poster catalog is unmatched.
LeBron?
I'll take Ant.
Over LeBron's poster
Ant,
catalog over 20 years?
Ant is 6'2" or six. No, he's like 6'4". So yeah, I'll take Ant. I'll take Ant.
Over Vince Carter? Like,
Give me Vince. Oh my goodness, you understand that? He's top four, top four.
take
Ant
for Nate
Vince.
Robinson, Dominique
Yeah,
Wilkins,
I'll take Ant.
Michael Jordan,
I'll take Ant.
Sean Kemp, the Rain Man,
Oh,
DeAndre Jordan,
that's
Blake Griffin.
I'll take Ant. Blake. Oh yeah, so I'll say Blake, Vince, Ant, and Sean Kemp is right there. But I gotta think
Shaquille O'Neal,
he's a center. I don't know.
Dwight Howard.
Center. I'm
Oh,
talking about like, yeah, like the type of like two-hand posters as a big man, you're supposed to do that. Anyone can do that. Ant is 6'4" dunking on 7 footers.
Kobe.
Oh,
Let's not act like number 8 Kobe was getting up there. 24 for a little bit in the beginning too.
I okay. In recent memory, I'm taking Ant.
All right, you gotta throw the stipulation on it.
Yeah, yeah, but I think it's if he continues, I feel like if the
I
way he's
say
moving now,
post 2020, post COVID, best dunker post COVID.
well, yeah, that's yeah, of course. But I just think because he's also doing it with a lot of frequency. He's dunking on nobodies, but he's still dunking on grown 7 foot tall men.
Oh my goodness, we didn't even mention Derrick Rose.
I'm taking it.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
taking that. I'm taking that.
All right. That's fair. I mean, I guess yeah, you're right. Definitely with the frequency, but that wasn't even the only poster. What was the other one?
What's this guy's name? Oh my goodness. Jalen Johnson from the was it the Hawks? No, it was the Jalen Johnson plays for what team? They just played what? Oh, it was the Hawks. Yeah. He detonated on somebody last night with a because I had to watch that a few times. I'm actually better watch it again because I
Austin
need to.
Reeves, man.
Oh,
Austin Reeves.
oh yeah, he done on Austin Reeves. He done on AR-15. He cleared him. He jumped over him. I feel like that's really. And then said, I think that's one of the most embarrassing things that could happen. Besides, like somebody making you fall, if somebody clears you in the NBA game, you can't really say anything.
Yeah, he almost cleared him. I think it was like straight up nuts to face. Like it was pretty nasty.
Quite disrespectful.
And then they
I
were
felt
asking,
bad because he was the only person back there. He had to stop the 3-on-1, and he just at that point get out the way, bro. Just get out the way.
I'm getting out the way before I let you dunk on me like that. But
Yeah,
but that's real hard for taking that to the face,
no cap. Oh, and he still. Oh, he got. Well, LeBron got poked, and then also Reaves got cleared. Oh my goodness, that's all right. Well, I feel sorry for Laker fans, but yeah, shout out to Jalen Johnson.
Yeah. And then they were asking Austin Reaves. They were essentially giving him a little having a little roast session with him. He's like, "How did it feel to get dunked on like that?" He's like, "Well, not good." Well, let me see if I can play the clip right here.
The Anthony Edwards dunk was so mean. He dislocated his finger. He went straight into the tent. And I think John Collins got a concussion from it.
Let me show you this clip real quick.
It would be negligent not to ask you, Austin. But
See, this is why I don't like you.
I know. I could report it. What happened on that first play?
Everybody's seen what happened.
This is why I don't like you. It's crazy.
This is crazy.
But then we start 11-2. What turned for you guys early after all that happened? And what did you
Oh, even the reporter is calling him while asking the question. Oh man.
You know, I think that might be the first time I've ever been like really dunked on. So I made it a really long time without being very athletic, picking my spots to get out of the way. Tried to take a charge. I don't know, super athletic kid, and he got one.
He doesn't even know what to say.
I mean, what can you say? You just got yammed on.
Ain't too worried about it. It was just, kind of the whole sequence of, that being the start and then them, kind of having that run. I'm sitting there like, that's what started it all. But we responded really well, and that just gives us, the knowing if a team comes out like that, then we can, turn it around pretty quick.
First of all, salute to AR-15. I think he handled this like a consummate professional. You just got dunked on and you got roasted, and you're actually talking about the game and how you were able to switch up the flow, and he didn't dwell on it too much. He knows he's not the same type of athlete. He knows that this is the first time it's happened to him, and he handled it well. What do you think?
I mean, they got the W. They won by 31. So
That's
dunk
true.
on me, yeah, dunk on me if you want. I beat y'all, and I put a good number, 12, 6, and 4. So yeah, he who last.
Yeah,
Speaking
fact.
of speaking of laughing, I have some breaking news. Michael Williams has agreed to terms with the Jets, 1 year, $50 million.
Wow. Any incentives or what's guaranteed?
Okay, up to 15 million. So it was looking like let me see. Let me see. Yeah, just 1 year deal worth up to 15 million. Don't have any deeper details currently, but if he can stay healthy, it's a good signing. But I don't think he's gonna stay healthy. So there you have it.
Hey, I mean, it's a good signing. I think the structure that I believe the Jets they signed a tackle from the Cowboys, and they took the structure
Tyron
where
Smith.
it's like, you said who?
Tyron, Tyron Smith.
Yeah, where you make the guaranteed money low, but you have high incentives based on if you can stay healthy. So it gives good upside. So it's not like, all right, let me just do what I can, and then if I get hurt, I don't care. I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the incentive structure is good, but I guess it does put a lot of stress on the player. But I guess it's just about like how much guaranteed money you can negotiate in those type of situations.
See, the thing about the incentives is sometimes these owners will finesse you. Like sometimes they'll still be like you have to play a certain amount of snaps. They might bench you for the last game of the season. They might
Oh, that's crazy.
sometimes you might have to get a certain amount of yards. They might pull you out and you only need like 2 more carries. Sometimes they do the opposite, but sometimes they may be like, yeah, I'll keep that extra 750K. You don't need that. I'll keep that extra mil. You don't need that. So that happens. That happens. It
That's
happens in both directions.
that's disgusting. Wow. Did you know Derek White got his first career triple double?
The year of the light skin hooper. Yeah. Shout out to Derek White. No hair, but we can stuff the stat sheet. So I like it.
No hair, don't care, man. Derek White, he's been in the league for. Wait, why does he have no hair?
I think he went bald. Well, I think he shaved it after
He used to have a lot of hair.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
alopecia or something.
no, I think he just shaved his head.
Hmm.
As far as I know.
Hmm. Hey, that's what up. Salute, man. Salute. What do we got after that? Talk to me.
We spoke about LeBron and JJ Redick's podcast or no? Did we talk about that?
No, we didn't talk about that yet. Go ahead.
So I saw the ad for it yesterday on my way to work. It's called Mind the Game. I watched a few minutes of it this morning. It looks really good. They're doing whatever it's about what you expect. They're deep, they're unpacking and analyzing every nook and cranny of basketball. And I love it so far. I think JJ Redick is a true basketball savant, and he already has that professional relationship with LeBron uninterrupted. And what is it? I think it's called, I forgot the name of his company. I think it's 314 Productions. So
Mhm.
there's already a relationship there. So I'm looking forward to watching more episodes of this. It's on YouTube, so there's video, they break down film, all the works. Should be a good watch.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll definitely have to check that out and add it to the rotation as well. Talk to me about Kyrie Irving.
Uh, it's playing in a safe environment. Quote. Where did this come from?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure you put this here.
Uh, Interesting. I know when he was in the, I'm not too familiar with the safe environment quote, but I do know he hit this game winner on Sunday, which was gorgeous. He was playing against, who were the Mavs playing that night? Was that the okay? Was they winning OKC? Kyrie game winner. They're playing Denver. They're playing Denver, and he broke an NBA record in that game. That being the longest game winning hook shot ever, a 21-foot hook shot.
Hmm.
Irving's game winner is just the 11th record hook shot in league history from at least 20 feet, and the only one to win the game. So there's a cold fact for you. Kyrie Irving is an artist. He said himself, he's not a basketball player. He's an artist, and he did something very artsy in this past matchup with the hook shot buzzer beater for a game. Shout out to Kyrie. Him and Luka. Obviously, that's a pairing of epic proportions, and you're seeing evidence of it once again.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hey, salute to Kyrie. Isaiah Thomas signs a 10-day contract with
Phoenix.
the Phoenix Suns. What do
It's
you think
not.
about that?
It's not much to say. I mean, I'm glad you're hooping still, but that's like when Julio Jones went to the Eagles. You're just doing stuff just to do stuff, and I hope it works out for you. Go get paid, I guess.
I don't feel like Isaiah Thomas is done. Like, he's not even old.
He's 35. That's old.
LeBron is in his 40s.
Are we gonna compare LeBron James to Isaiah Thomas on the Fever Pitch podcast?
You tell me, are we?
No. No, we're not doing that. It's a 10-day. He's he's a former Sun, so he has some familiarity there. Two-time All-Star. He's had a good career. I just think he needs to give it up. He was on the G League playing with the Salt Lake City Stars, and they had some people on that roster though. It was Isaiah Thomas, Johnny Juzang from UCLA, Romeo Langford from, I think he went to UVA. Yeah, he went to Indiana, and yeah, they had a nice little G League roster there. So the Suns need bodies, and they need bodies for cheap because they don't have a lot of money to move around. So it's mutually beneficial, but I don't think much is going to come from it.
That's fair. I think the main thing is that I like to see Isaiah Thomas when it's he's a person of normal stature. He's 5'9". So when you see Isaiah Thomas winning, it lets us know that people of normal stature can still hoop.
Yeah, last pick of the draft, he's played for over a decade. I have to respect it. I just don't think the days of him being in MVP conversations and all NBA discussions and top tens and top fives are long gone.
That's fair. All right. I think we got where is it? Let me see. Caitlin Clark. A lot of teams are going to get Caitlin Clark for the March Madness tournament, which I find interesting because I don't think Iowa's anywhere near the favorite to win this.
Yeah, like Iowa, LSU, South Carolina. There's some heat in the women's bracket. I'm looking forward
Tennessee.
to watching it. Tennessee. Yeah, I'm looking forward. I think LSU's gonna win again. I feel like they're gonna lock in and do what they need to do in March. And also, I just feel as though Caitlin Clark has been showing that she is not regular. And when you're not regular, people want to make you regular. So,
Mm,
yeah, there's a target on her back for sure. I hope she can overcome the adversity and do what she needs to do.
mm, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, I got some fever pitch questions for you. I'm gonna hit you with two real quick.
Shoot.
From C Hoskins 11.
Shout out.
What do you guys think the Bengals will do with the T Higgins?
He's getting moved.
Where do you think?
Carolina or Tennessee. Well, they just get Calvin Ridley, so no, Carolina, maybe Jacksonville, or Atlanta. Oh, maybe Atlanta. I don't think that's gonna happen, but that's like if they could pull that off, I
That would
would.
be a great move.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen, but if they could pull that off, T. Higgins, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Rondell Moore, that would be nice.
All right, the last question I got for you is for the NBA. Who do you think will be the biggest playoff riser that we don't expect?
I like Orlando.
Mm.
I'm not sure if they're like. Let me look at the standings, but I like Orlando. I think they have the opportunity to be competitive. Yeah, they're the fifth seed right now. I already told y'all I like the Knicks as well, but that Jalen Brunson injury was a little questionable. OG Anunoby missed some time as well. So looking at it now, Orlando and Miami in the East and the West. I mean, hopefully this is the year the Clippers can prove me wrong. Maybe the Pelicans can prove me wrong. But I think all in all, Denver's on the repeat. So
Valid. But yeah, man, that's all I got. This is a good one.
mhm.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening to the Fever Pitch podcast, listening, watching. As always, we'll catch you guys next time. If you aren't already, follow us on Instagram. Check out the podcast on all the platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Throw us a follow and leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us, and we really appreciate you guys. Also, March Madness is upon us. If you haven't already, go to the Instagram and enter the tournament. It's a free $100. And think about it realistically. There's only so many entries. We're a small podcast, so a free $100. You enter, you win. Guess a few right, free money. I don't know about you. I would like an extra $100 in my pockets. Hey.
The odds be in your favor.
So with that being said, thank you guys for listening to the Fever Pitch podcast. We really appreciate you guys. As always, we'll be posting Wednesdays and Fridays, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Take care. God bless.